Hi guys, my name's Ben. Welcome to another Bewale creative video. I hope you enjoyed the last video where I gave an outline on how you can add some clip speed to your media using Camtasia 9. For those of you that missed it, I'll put a link to that video in the description below. Before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos I put up in the future. You might remember one of the earlier videos that I uploaded onto my channel gave a fairly basic introduction on how to use Camtasia 9. Among other things, that tutorial included how you can import media into Camtasia and how you can use transitions. In today's video, I wanted to give you a bit more of a deep dive in how to use some of the other features offered in Camtasia. So some of the things I wanted to show you today include how you can add text to Camtasia and some of the other callouts that you've seen me use in previous videos, how to extend a single frame of a piece of media, and how you can zoom in on a specific section of your media in Camtasia. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So as you can see here, I've got two pieces of media in the media bin. So these are two of the more recent videos that I've got up on the channel. This one here is the update that I posted a few weeks ago, and this one here is the last video where I showed how we can add or remove some speed to a clip. So we'll drag this one down. So the first thing that I wanted to show you today is how we can put some text on the screen. So what we're going to want to do is come up here to annotations, over here in the callouts, and as you can see here there's a couple of different things that we can do. I generally just go for one of these two text boxes here, so we'll click and drag it down onto the timeline. And as you can see here, we can then click and drag it to wherever on the screen we want it to be. So over here we've got some pretty basic options. Because of the background of this particular piece of video, I'm going to change it from white text to black. So up here we can change the font. Let's change it to Rockwell Extra Bold. So in order to change what is in this text box, we come up to it and we double click it and we can just start typing. And there we have it, some text that's appeared on the screen. Over here we've got some pretty basic options where we can increase or decrease the size of the text in the text box. We can increase or decrease the opacity of it. And the first thing that I would like to show you, which I use quite frequently in my channel, you may have seen it before, is how you can get those little red boxes to outline around a particular portion of the screen, and also how we can highlight a particular portion of the screen as well. So we'll find the particular section that we want to highlight. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to highlight this section here that's got my other channel. So what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to come up to the annotations menu up here, and from the annotations menu what we're going to want to do is come to the sketch motion callouts, and generally I use one of these two, so one of the square boxes. So we'll click and drag this one, put it in the middle there just so we can see what it's highlighting. So we'll click and drag this, and you can use these handles to encompass whichever particular area of the screen that you would like. Alright, so now that we've got that circled, we can also come over here and we'll have a look at the properties of it. So I'm happy with the color red. We can increase or reduce the amount of thickness, so I'm generally pretty happy with how it is. And also we can change how long it takes for Camtasia to draw this on the screen. Generally I make this kind of thing half a second, so we'll make that 0.5. And we'll see how we go with that. There we go, so I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. So just to give you a bit of an idea of what all these other ones do, so you might have seen me use this one once or twice as well. This is a big arrow that we've got here. So we'll drag this down here. So when our cursor turns that to that little arrow just there, that means you're about to change the angle that it's on. So I want this arrow to be pointing up at our little red box, so we can do this. There we go. So you can also get to that one from the sketch motion as well. So something else that you guys have probably seen me use quite frequently is this blur and highlight menu to highlight particular parts of the screen. So I'm also going to highlight this Flowerpot Studios channel card. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here to this spotlight option just here, click and drag it down here. So pretty similar to the red box, we can drag it over where we want it to be highlighted, and we can use these handles here to expand the area on the screen that's going to be highlighted. And up here we can also change the intensity, so the lower the number over here, the more of the rest of the screen you'll be able to see. The higher the number, the less of the screen you'll be able to see. I'm pretty happy for it to be around 50. So another thing that I also do quite frequently in this channel and also my other one, which is conveniently on the screen, is I quite frequently use the zooming feature of Camtasia. So there's a couple of ways to do this. The first and easiest way, we can simply scale up the particular piece of media that we're looking at. We'll click and drag this scale, and as you can see, it will zoom in to whatever is in the frame at the time, and we can just move it about so we can easily see what it is we're supposed to be looking at. But as you can see, there are a few downsides to that. So that will just zoom in on the entire piece of media. So the entire 3 minutes and 41 seconds of this video will now be at 179%. So that's not entirely what we want. So we'll press Ctrl Z to get it back. So the way that I prefer to do this, or the way that I like to do it, we're going to put an animation over the screen. Again, there is a couple of different ways to do that. I'll show you both of them, but the first way that we can do it, we'll make sure we're at the right part of the video. So I want to zoom in right here on the Flowerpot Studios card. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here to animations, and I want a custom animation. So this is the section of media that I want to zoom in on. So what we'll do, we'll click this little arrow here and drag it back to where the playhead is. So the length of this arrow is the amount of time that it will take for our animation to take full effect. So what we want to do, in order to zoom in, we'll bring the playhead to anywhere on the right hand side of where this animation is. So what we're going to do is come over here, there we go, and from here, this is where we can start zooming in on the screen. So as you can see there, we're now at 194%, and the Flowerpot Studios card takes up pretty much the whole of the screen. So let's bring our playhead back to just before this little marker here, and we'll press play. So as you can see there, that zoomed in on our Flowerpot Studios card just like I wanted it to. In order to get that back to the regular scale, or 100%, we can click and drag another custom animation here. Because the playhead is to the right of the animation, so that's where the animation will end. So we want it back to get 100%. And we'll realign this. And let's see how that goes. There you go. That is one way to zoom in using Camtasia. So we'll use zoom and pan, and that will do pretty much the same thing. So what we want to do is we want to zoom in specifically on that card just there. So what we can do is there, and that has essentially done the same thing as what we did before. You can see it's created an animation just there. So we want to get this back to the correct scale, so we'll just come back up here and scale to fit. So as you can see, that's created another animation down here where the video will zoom out. So that is a couple of quick and easy ways on how you can zoom in and out using Camtasia. One of the other things I wanted to show you how to do today is to extend a single specific frame in Camtasia. So what we can do is come to the frame that you want to extend. So try and get the bit with my channel. So this one will do. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this particular piece of media down here. We'll drag this piece of media out for a little bit. And what we want to do, we want to go back one frame. So we can go back one frame by pressing this fellow up here, which will take us to the previous frame, or the keyboard shortcut to do that is comma. So we'll go back one frame, and we want to zoom right in. Make sure this particular piece of media is selected. We right click, and we want to extend the frame. You can also do Shift E as well. So we'll go extend frame. So by default, the amount of time that a frame will extend for is 1 second. So I'm pretty happy with 1 second, so I'll click OK. And as you can see here, Camtasia has created a still of that single frame for a second. So what we're going to do, we're going to zoom out a little bit, drag this back here, and we'll see what that looks like. That's how you can extend a single frame. So that was a bit more of a deep dive on how to use some of the more advanced features in Camtasia. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos I put up in the future. As always, if you would like to learn how to do something using Camtasia 9, you can reach out to me using any of the social media handles on the screen now. Thanks for watching. And we'll see how we go with that. If you would like to check out those videos, I'll put a link to the channel in the description below, but I'll also put... Oops, that did not work out very well.